The other product that I use that it really helps, it's kind of expensive, so the money I saved on patches I just turned around and spent on this thing, but it's a product made by Tetra, and it's the gun degreaser. This is Action Blast. It's a cleaner and degreaser, and my steel frame guns I use this stuff on. Steel, aluminum, alloy, doesn't matter as long as it's not polymer. My polymer I do use it on, but you want to make sure, you want to test the little area, make sure it doesn't hurt it. My Glocks, doesn't matter. My XD subcompact, I clean it with this, it doesn't matter. But this makes your life a lot easier, especially with the Beretta, because you got so many nooks and crannies. So I'll just take this outside and I'll spray it down with a little of this, and it really cleans it out. And it also degreases it, so it's going to make it dry, so you have to go back in and lube it up. Just keep it out of these areas where your hammer assembly and everything is. Just make sure you keep it out of that. But everything else, you know, spray this entire area down. I've gotten them on my grips and they work just fine. One thing I noticed, if they go underneath the grips, sometimes they stain. So when I take the grips off, I gotta like scrub it down quite a bit to get the staining out. But just make sure it doesn't go underneath the grips. Just kind of get this area forward with it, especially like in these little nooks and crannies, like right in here. And the places, and then when I come back, I have one of these plastic hooks or picks, you want to call them, you can call them. They have the angle of the thing is, so you got one that's going this way and then one that's going the opposite direction. So that one's going like vertically, this one's going horizontally. Come on, focus. Come on. There you go. So this one's going that way. This is going. You guys have seen this. I'm pretty sure you've seen this. So I get in there. I get in the little nooks and crannies with this and get it all out. Break it all loose, and then I'm gonna put a patch over it and get in there and clean it out. So a little bit in there. I usually fold this up, you know, a couple of ways, but the areas where your finger doesn't go, you can use this to clean it. Then of course you clean the guide rod. Just rub it down, get in the edges, get in the corners and the edges. Spring, same way, you rub it down. What I do, I fold it and I put the spring down on the paper, and then I fold the paper on itself, and then I'll just kind of twist it and let it come out, and then I'll just kind of grab everything, get it nice and clean. Then I'll grab my slide and I'll do the same thing with my slide. I don't use the Tetra gun degreaser because just I'm not comfortable maybe breaking a little bit of carbon loose and getting it jammed inside the chamber of the firing pin, so I'm not comfortable with that, so I don't use that on there. But it's same way. What I'll do with that is, you know, in the edges and the corners, I'll use my pick to break that powder loose. Then I'll spray a little bit of Ballistol on my patch, and then I'll get my two-headed brush. You got the big head and then you got the little head. And then with the little head, put a patch over it, and then just kind of work that in the grooves. Work that in the grooves and stuff, and same way with the railing on the slide. This works great for Glocks also. Mine Glocks, because you have a much narrower channel compared to what you get with these guys. With my Glocks, I use this end and I just run it through the channel. Maybe fold this 3 or 4 times, and I'll run it through the channel a few times. And that's really clean. Bring my barrel over. You know, all the nooks and crannies that you see here, I'm going to get in there with my little pick. Just go in there and clean it all out. Then I'll bring my barrel over, and the barrel, The ballistol has done most of its job. I'll just grab a patch and actually, when you first come from the range, even though we ran the brush through it with the ballistol in there, I'm going to run the brush through it again a few more times with the ballistol in there, and that really helps the brush break things down. Be careful, yeah, be careful not to bang the feed ramp and stuff on your center of your brush. So I just go through that a few times. All right, and then I have a plastic one of these brushes, and that's one of these. I don't remember who I bought this from or who makes it, but it's common. I've seen it a few times. But with the plastic one, I just wrap my patch around, and I'll just go through the barrel with it. Woo! Yeah, see? Come on. There you go. Yeah, that thing is nasty. Yeah, and I've cleaned this thing, but this ballistol is awesome, especially if you let it sit. So I'll hit it with ballistol and let it sit, and then go through it one more time. Go through it one more time. I'm pretty satisfied with this. This is bad, but after the ballistol, what I'll do, because ballistol is pretty mild, if you have any kind of lead or any kind of copper in there, ballistol is really not going to get it all out. So what I'll do is have a product made by Gunslick. This stuff is amazing, especially with my ARs. It really helps quite a bit. Shake it up really well, and then I'll spray it inside the barrel. I'm not going to do it now because I have to let it sit for 15 minutes. And then just let it sit. You let it sit for a few minutes, and you run a patch through it. And you get it, it turns color. If it turns blue, means it's removing copper. If it turns black, it's just powder. And I think green is lead. It's one of the two. I've never had lead come out because I don't shoot lead bullets through my guns, but it's a really good product. It's a very, very good product. It helps quite a bit, and it's really, you don't really need that much of it. I've had this for 2 years and still almost full. So once it's done sitting, run the brush through the barrel. Just the copper brush through the barrel, and then with the plastic brush, run a patch through it. Once you run the patch through it, then I'll hit it with ballistol one more time and run the patch through it again. Ballistol will lubricate it, so for storage, that little bit of lubrication that the patch leaves over is enough to protect it. But I'm in a dry state. If you're in a more humid state, you want to have a decent amount of oil in there. So that's the barrel, and then for the man, see when I ran the brush through the barrel, it splashed. Come on, focus. There you go. Jeez. Yeah. So it splashed a little bit. And I got it on my computer too. Then you just kind of run that ballistol patch through over the thing. Man, that barrel is nasty. Yeah, I don't really make my gun squeaky clean. I heard it's not good for it, so I never did it. I clean it, but I don't squeaky clean it. I don't get it really like a mirror, like you can eat off it. I definitely don't do that. I hear you can do more damage that way. So yeah, so once that's clean, and you got the frame cleaned out, everything's good to go, time to put it back together. What I do is on my barrel, I use the M Pro 7 stuff. I'm only able to buy these from police supply shops. I haven't seen them anywhere else, but your state might be different. This here is really the way I do it. I have a little container with a little needle on it so I can get into small areas. So I'll just put a couple of drops on the barrel. I'm not going to do it now because I usually do the barrel when I'm ready to go to the range. When I go to the range, I'll lube it up. My hands, got ballistol on it, and it rubs around the barrel, and it's shiny and it's lubricated. It's nice and protected now. But when I go to the range, then I'll hit it with. Before I start shooting, I hit it with the lube. For my frame, though, as soon as I'm done cleaning it, I don't oil it. I grease it, and I don't use that Tetra stuff. I don't use the Tetra grease or all the grease that they sell for $8 for 3 ounces. I use wheel bearing grease. This is a synthetic Mobile One wheel bearing grease. It's this stuff. Synthetic grease. It's a high temperature synthetic wheel bearing grease. Basically, that's what it is. So after I'm done cleaning it, I put a little bit of that grease inside of a syringe. I think this was the best way I could think of applying the grease. It works really well, actually. What I'll do, I'll break the needle off of it. You rock it back and forth a little bit and it'll break off. And you can buy these over the counter. If they're a certain thickness and over, you don't need a prescription for them. And since we're not really injecting the grease into our veins, get it as thick as you want. And they're about 20 cents when I got these 8 years ago. I've had these for 8 years. This particular one for 8 years, and it's been full of grease. And this grease it's synthetic, so it's been engineered to be greasy even when it gets dirty. And it's for wheel bearings for a car, wheel bearings of a car, your car suspension, stuff like that. So it's very heavy duty grease, and that's what I'm using. And at first, when I was showing you the wear on the frame of this gun, 4,000 rounds through it, it really doesn't look like it's had 4,000 rounds through it. It really doesn't. This does a really, really good job. It really does a good job. So what I'll do, I'll just put like 2 little dots on one side, and then one. I'm going to show you it this way. 1 and 2 dots on this side, and then I'll grab my frame and I'll repeat the same thing on the frame. I mean, sorry, not the frame, the slide. I'll do one here, and then one here, one here. And when I'm done, I'll disassemble it. Don't put too much though, you don't want it to get it runny. This stuff really stays lubricated after it gets dirty. That's one thing I really like about this. Doing this, and that's just the way I do it. If you don't want to do it, no problem. You won't hurt my feelings or anything if you don't do it. I'm just showing you the way I'm doing it. So I'm just going to put this guy back together. Oopsie, I've got to do it with my left hand. Pop that guy in. And grab my frame. Alright. Push that back. And that's it. We are done. So that's the way I do it. Sometimes some people do it differently, but that's the way I do it, and it's worked out for me. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. All right, see ya.